Hello again, everybody. Barry Hyatt here in Scottsville at the University of Kentucky Extension Office with my good friend Janet Johnson. And Janet, today, if I'm not mistaken, we're talking potatoes, but they're not all created equal. Is that right?
They're not all created equal, Barry. And let's get a jump start towards St. Patty's Day
Sure.
here in January. And you know, it's so cold. It's time for something comforting, right?
Yes.
Just something that gives some warmth and some comfort.
Yes.
And what better vegetable to do that
Yes.
than a potato?
Yes.
But I'll bet there are tons of people right now that are in exercise machines, they're at the gyms, and they're saying, oh, I can't eat potatoes, Barry. I can't have them.
Too many carbs.
Too many carbs. Well, today we want to show you a great recipe where we're trying to balance out potato with other vegetables.
Okay, sounds great.
So it's a potato bake called a Fiesta bake.
Ooh.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to lower the amount of potato in a baked casserole type dish, and it's a great potluck dish, Barry, if you want to take that to a dinner.
Cool.
But we're doing it now because, again, it's a great comfort food for winter. So what we've done is a little advanced work, Barry, and that guy, that russet, let's talk about him.
Sure.
Russet potatoes are known by most people as the baked potato.
Right.
That's what they are.
Right.
And it's true because their properties, their texture is a fluffy texture when cooked. So they do well in any kind of baked dish.
Okay.
Now, the Yukon Golds, they're okay. They're kind of a hybrid between the waxy little red or new potato that we
Yes.
think about.
Yes.
And those are great where you want a potato to have a very definite shape or you want to mash it. And those do great. This guy tends to fluff up, or it's good for casseroles, so or just baking. So choose the potato. So we're encouraging russets to be used.
Sure.
So in the recipe, what you want to do, and you'll see that you choose about, it'll say 8 russets, but most russets, if you buy them in the economy bags, are going to be much smaller than this guy.
right.
So that's probably the equivalent of 2 russet potatoes right there. So again, you can adjust this dish. And I would really urge people to think about having this recipe for small households.
Okay.
Or making it, putting it in a baking dish to serve immediately, putting it in another dish, again with aluminum foil, and then putting that in the freezer to bake later.
Okay.
So
That would be good too.
It's a good make-ahead dish as well. So what we've done, as the recipe says, is we have taken 8 potatoes, Barry, and we've also chopped a red pepper and chopped a green pepper and chopped a medium onion.
Okay.
Okay. Then we've put all of those vegetables, and what you're doing is you're getting a higher proportion of sweet pepper and onions to potato.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's really like you're doing with your 8 potatoes, you're probably getting not quite 6 cups, but with the other vegetables, you're kicking that up to be about 4. So we're really increasing the proportion.
Kind of neutralizing it, I guess.
We're
the potatoes
trying
in a way,
to, we're trying to add more nutrients as well.
Okay.
So what we've done is simply cover these with water and just put them on the stove on boil until they're tender. That's it. Don't overcook at this stage. This is important, or else you're going to end up with a really yummy, thick potato soup, mashed potatoes. Tastes great, but doesn't hold the shape as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drain this mixture. And see, that's what you want. You want the potatoes to have a nice shape.
Yes.
Still, and you can see that. We've diced the potatoes. Now, when it says dice, smaller pieces than your chopped peppers and your onions. Why?
Really? Okay.
Because they will cook much faster, so we're trying to equalize that.
Okay.
So smaller pieces of potato, larger pieces of the others. So we simply drain these. Now, one thing I failed to mention, the recipe will tell you to add salt and pepper. And we're going to kind of show you certain amounts, but you could put part of your salt in with this cooking process if you want to, and let your vegetables absorb a little bit of that flavor, and then you would cut down on the amount you need later. Okay, so think about doing that. I think that's kind of a nice balance. So what we're doing is draining that off. Now, if you'll hold that up, Barry, I'll get, and we'll exchange mixing bowls at this point, and we will add the vegetable mixture
Pour that in
here.
there?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's hope I don't make a mess.
You're going to do just fine, and I'll kind of help you with any runaway potatoes or peppers.
Hey, look at there. Not
Perfect,
one.
perfect.
Not one. Okay.
Now you can see why we call this a Fiesta potato.
Sure.
Because you have a nice red and green. Now, when you cook your red pepper, it does tend to lighten, so it will turn more
orange almost,
more
doesn't it?
Tennessee orange. Yes.
I knew there was something about this recipe that I liked.
Yes, your favorite color. Absolutely, I know that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some additions. We're going to do a half a cup of milk and a low-fat milk, and I'm using a 2% today to add a little more fat, but still not whole milk.
Right.
And then we're compensating with a half a cup of butter or margarine, either one. Now, some people might say, whoa, but in proportion to this recipe, it's really not a lot of butter or margarine, either one. Okay, now we are adding a cup of Mexican cheese blends.
Okay.
Now, this is not the taco cheese. We're not putting taco seasoning, which you get, but it's a nice blend of the cheddar and the Colby and some other cheeses that's very common on the market today. So we're putting about a cup of that in the mixture as well. Then we are adding a little more salt, and you know I love seasoned salt, Barry. That's how we roll here. You know, we like that. And you can add, now remember, if you've added more to your water, cut back now. Or you can add, again, about 3/4 to a teaspoon at this point. And the same thing with your peppers. Now, you know I also like seasoned pepper, but with this recipe, because the seasoned pepper has very tiny dried sweet pepper flakes, I'm backing off of that because we have that flavor. So I'm just doing the regular pepper, or do a nice coarse grind pepper too from your pepper mill. That would be a nice addition as well too. So a little pepper. Then the last piece is to add some dried herbs. And this is going to add a lot of flavor that you don't need the salt as much. Now, the recipe calls for, I'm going to read it here, a tablespoon of dried basil. Okay, well, and that's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do a little bit of the basil, but I'm also going to use some dried chives too. Chives are a marvelous herb, you know, with potatoes, add a lot of nice flavor. And right here, Barry, is the reason to grow herbs year-round. To have a little place in your house where you can have chives, basil, some cilantro.
Cilantro,
yes.
One of your favorites.
Absolutely. And that way you could snip and use these fresh herbs, little tablespoons. That's not a lot, but that would really add great flavor to a dish like this, especially potatoes. So remember that when you're out in the stores now and you just really need to dig in some dirt, get some little pots of those.
There you go.
And that's great. Now, the recipe also adds some bright greenery by adding a little bit of parsley, and I think we just dropped something.
We're good to go.
We are, but we'll probably have to get another. What I'm doing here is I'm snipping a couple of tablespoons of fresh parsley, and this is easy to find. Now remember, parsley is sold mostly in two different varieties. Now this is an Italian parsley. It's called a flat leaf parsley. Or you can buy the traditional curly parsley. So we're just snipping, you know, some of those leaves. And with a lot of leaves, you can roll those up and do it by using these little snippers. I don't even have to do that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I really like these
little
kitchen snippers are great tools to have in the kitchen there too. So Barry, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wipe this off. Yes. And then we're going to use this to actually stir this. I'm going to let you spray the cooking dish there, Barry.
All right.
And we'll kind of mix while I'm kind of stirring this up. But this is a beautiful dish, and like I said, it's a great dish to take to a potluck. But you can see how much this makes and why you might want to actually have the recipe or make this large recipe and then cook half of it and then freeze the other half for another meal at some time. It does make a lot. This will actually begin to serve about 12 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a big dish. It is. Okay, Barry, so we're going to get the pan that we have sprayed. And we are going to, well, just right there in front, what we're going to do is pick this up, and we're going to put those potatoes in the pan, as you can see. Very simple.
Nice.
Now, we're not adding a topping to this, okay? A lot of potato dishes and casseroles will put a topping on them, but we really do not need that with this dish.
For this one.
Okay, so we're going to now put this in the oven at 350 degrees and bake this approximately 20 minutes till the cheeses melt and it's bubbly.
Okay.
And I think you've had a shot, or we're going to show the finished product, Barry. You know, we have this, and it's a delightful dish to take especially to a large group potluck. Or, as we said, you can have it and have 2 meals in one with this recipe. So
Either way is a great idea.
either way, that's right. So it's a great comfort food for the cold days of winter.
And we are still going to have a few more of those, I do believe, don't you?
I do too.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, if you guys would like this recipe, it's very easy to get. You can simply email me at North Central. My email address there is barry.hyatt@nctc.com, or you can simply go to our website. It's www.nctc.com. And what a great idea, Janet. I know
Yes,
a lot of
wonderful.
people will try this, and I'm sure will fall in love with it if they've never tried it before.
It's a very delicious potato dish. We hope that you enjoyed, and people will enjoy it as well.
Most certainly. And thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again here real soon.